Hello, I'm Lanessa. You probably know that already if you're on my page. And then I'm going to be doing an eyeshadow tutorial, which might be obvious from one eye done and one eye not done. I took my kids into town and I had to make one stop and drop my kids off, and neither the people in the store, there's like a fly buzzing around in here, neither the lady in the store or my aunt where I dropped my kids off said anything. So I'm like, I wonder if they notice I only have one eye done. Hi Jenny, thanks for popping in. I'm hoping that we get a good number of people on the live tonight. I've had just about two, might even be a full month off. Hi Donna. From the live portion of my business, I've been doing a lot of behind the scenes stuff. My yoga teacher calls it housekeeping. So like computer work and systems and stuff like that. So I've been working hard. I just haven't done a live in almost a month and I'm really excited. So that's fun. This is really fun for me, just sharing really good makeup. I do need to get a better chair though. I'm like sitting on my knees. Good thing I practice a lot of yoga, but I have 2 lives in a row, so I'm after an hour of sitting on my feet. They might not unbend. So if you are here, say hi. As you pop in, say hi. And then if you are happening to catch the replay, comment replay. And I'm going to just show you how I made this eyeball. So you can see that it looks bigger and brighter. That should be fairly obvious if I look up here. I used mostly the Sun collection. So that would be the top 4 here. Pink, this it's called Paris now. Havana it's super intimidating at first when you see it, but it actually goes on really great. I know online it looked very orange, and I know my friend Janelle and I were like, what on earth will you do with that orange? But it's actually a really nice peach. And then pomegranate, which is quickly becoming a fan favorite, and then revival. And then I also dipped into the old shadows and I used Blondie, this like fabulous shimmery gold. Hi Shelby, across the lid there, so I think you can probably see it there. So Sun collection in Blondie, that's seems fitting. Hi CJ, hi Haley. Okay, so I'm gonna get started. So I'm going to talk a little bit about feedback I've gotten from people or questions I've gotten from people, and then just some tips I've learned along the way. Hopefully I don't forget anything. I actually have a little note here. So I want to start with saying for best shadow longevity, you need to prep just like you would prep anything, just like you prep your skin for your foundation. Which I'm not wearing. So that's something to consider. Some people do their eyeshadow last because they feel like it's like the last thing, right? It's like the last step. But actually, if you are not a pro at eyeshadow, sometimes it's really nice to do it last because it's really easy to clean up and play around without wrecking everything, and then you can put your foundation on after. I will say though, one of the best ways to prep for foundation or eyeshadow is with your foundation. So I'm gonna pop in, open up my highlights, but first I'm gonna take my damp perfector sponge and my stay spray, and I am going to just blot it all over. Now I don't have oily skin, so that's something that I don't have to worry about. But if you do have oily skin, I've read from other artists that they actually like to do the foundation, which is what I'm about to do here. And pick your brightener unless you have a reason to pick your main, but really it doesn't matter. It's just here to prep. I've heard from other artists that they, after they do their foundation, they actually go in with their setting powder, their vanilla dust. So some people, if you have oily skin and you tend to get a lot of creasing, a powder is something you could try. Spray is okay around your eyes. Yes, I use it all the time, especially underneath. I get like quite a lot of crinkles, and under here I'm very expressive, and so I've got this happens, right? 33 now, so it's starting to show. I use my Stay Spray every single time, even if I'm not doing my whole face because I'm not wearing my makeup for 12 hours or it's not a hot day or anything like that. I'll still blot it under my eyes, and I feel like it helps. It helps with the cream, though I do say, like, if you don't have cream yet, it does not pile up under your eyes like liquids and powders, because it doesn't dry and then flake, because this is moving skin. So powder and liquids turn to like a paste, right? A dry paste, and then as you're moving, it flakes up off of your skin, which is why it tends to draw a lot of attention under your eyes. So that's why creams, yay. So prepped, I don't need to powder because I'm lucky to be dry, but that's a step you could include if that is not the case for you. All right, eyeshadow brush. Just like all of our foundation brushes are amazing for our foundation and are amazing brushes, this too is not your $10 eyeshadow brush. This is an amazing tool. The quality is just fabulous. And if you have a really great tool, everything else is easier. I think it's like $30 or something like that. I don't know. I should have looked that up. All right, so I'm gonna go in and I'm going to start, and I wanna remind you that there's no rules in makeup. And even if you're picking 4 colors and it's a 4-color collection, there's like 10 ways you could apply those 4 colors and get different looks. And so there's no rules on that, but I'm gonna show you what I did today. So I started with, Sabrina actually, which is this really nice pale base color. So I'm just gonna dip in with my fluffy end, and I'm just gonna set that all over. So this possibly could work. So inner lid, and then I'm gonna go up into my brow. That's it. And then I went into Paris, this nice light pink, and I did kind of like upper brow bone. So most of this will get kind of covered and blended, but it still is there perfectly. And then I pulled that in a little bit on my lid and then just kind of lifted up to that inner crease corner and out. And then I went into Havana, this beautiful coral. And same thing, I've got my brush way back, and I set that in there also. So just gonna create not pink and not orange, but something less. And to me, like the sun collection, it actually is like sunset collection, so that's really cool. Hi Christine. Pomegranate. So this reminds me a lot of like sandstone lip and cheek, if that's this top one here. So it's surprisingly beautiful, especially on blue eyes. So it might become a favorite of mine if it's not already. So same thing. And then I'm gonna get a little bit, just place and blend. So that's the nice thing on this. And then another little tip, especially if you've got heavier lids, like if you are doing your makeup high with your eyebrows lifted, and then when you relax, your color completely disappears, that's something that you need to factor in. So what I would suggest is getting really close and relaxing and seeing where right above you need to see that. So it's like kind of right up there. So it's kind of above my brow bone, because I still want to see a bit of this color when I'm relaxed. So I still want some of that pomegranate popping out. So from there, I should try this thing. Did anyone get this thing? The brush cleaning tile? I haven't tried it yet. It's like, it looks like a tile, but it's actually a sponge. It's kind of neat. Give it a try, hey? It's here, why not? So blend it out. So just like your 3D foundation, you just blend it until it's where you want it. Same thing here. You windshield washer it. You could swirl if you want it. You want to kind of get that sunset effect happening. Perfect. And then the nice thing is, if you get a little wild, you can wipe. And then I always get a little wild out to the side, and I'll show you what I do with that afterwards. From here, hey Laura, thanks Shelby. I'm gonna pop into Revival, which is the nice deep purple, the darker end of this color. And then with my brush, I'm gonna just close my eye and place it on the outside of my lid. And then I might tuck back in there again, and then think in like a triangle or like an angular, like think contour, blush, shadow. You want everything pulling up and out, just like your eyebrow arch opens your eye. So too should everything kind of make you look awake, right? So I'm gonna think about where that kind of trajectory that I want is, corner of my eye up to my eyebrow, and then I'm actually gonna like almost like draw a line. So think of this like your, I don't know, I want to say a pie shape. I don't know if that's like a triangle, your outer V. Hello Janine, hello Tiffany. So pop, kind of blend a little here, and then just blend your outer V, kind of think up and out towards the tail of your eyebrow, which ideally would be at a great spot, and then just blend. By great spot, I mean like some people's tails are a little too short. So hopefully you've got some good eyebrows happening. And then just blend. So I've had people be like, how on earth do you get 4 colors to fit on your eyes? Like, I use 1 color, maybe 2. Well, this is how we're blending them. It's gonna be like a seamless transition where it's not obvious. There's pink, there's orange, there's your brick color, and there's purple. So we're gonna blend it in. So it's like this, it's artwork, right? So I have chosen to do my tougher eye with you. So reason being is we all have a tough eye. We all have a, you know, something like, we all have a favorite eyebrow. We all have an easier eye. So this eye is just slightly more hooded than the other. So I have to just give it a little bit of extra attention. So I know generally if I'm getting questions from people, it's some with like difficult eyelid. I don't know if that's the right thing to say. So I just have to put a little extra effort in to make sure I'm lifting and broadening my eye open and getting that brow bone color up high enough. So it's almost as if it's got to be a little higher on my right eye, which is this eye, than the left. So I just double check. The nice thing about shadows is you can layer, you can add more. If you're doing the same look over and over, you'll get to know it, and it'll be much easier to know exactly how much you need and where it's placed. And it's the same as your 3D foundation. Remember the first time you did it, it might have taken you 20 minutes in front of the mirror with the video, and now you know where it goes and how much you need, and things are just faster and easier. Do you ladies love eyeshadows, or is it something that you feel you need more practice with? I know a lot of us, it's like back in the work days, we wore eyeshadows, and for some of us, that's been 5 to 8 years. Yay, mom life, right? So from here, we all have different shaped eyes. So some of us have like, if you look at like your pupils and the way your eye is, they're slightly turned up or quite level or slightly turned down. So my eyes are on the verge of being turned down, especially this one. So I've got like a hooded eye, and this eye just kind of is heavy on the outside corner, and that's okay. Ooh, never even tried. Yay, well, you're in the right place. So I have to just take extra caution because it's really easy to get too much shadow coming down, which will just further turn my eyes down. So you can see I've got like a nice upward swoop of my under shadow color up to my highest outward peak to my eyebrow. So I've got to do the same thing on this side. So what I do, and I realize this one's a little bit crazy, but you get that point, right? So I'm going to take a microfiber and I've got a damp corner. And this is another reason why it's nice to not have full foundation on, because I'm not wrecking anything here. So I'm going to actually just think about the upward lift of my eye, and I'm going to take that shadow off. So you can see I just kind of lightly took any excess blending. And it's not a lot, but it makes a big difference in the turning up of my eye. So I'm gonna take the small end, so no rules in makeup, we can clean this up. So I'm gonna take the small end of the eyeshadow brush, a little bit more precise end, and actually, hold on, I skipped a step. I'm gonna take my Stay Spray and the cap and spray a little bit in here. Tiny bit. And then I'm actually gonna switch over to my multitasker. So this has a really great like domed end, but we're gonna use this teeny tiny little dense end over here. And I'm gonna dip it into the Stay Spray I just put in the cap here, just to get it wet. And then I'm gonna pop into Revival, that dark purple. And I'm gonna make my own eyeliner, which is gonna be really fun to do in the phone. So underneath, I'm gonna just think of it as like trying to color on your lashes. And I'm just gonna pull that into about the center of my pupil, maybe slightly out. And then I'm gonna do the same thing on the top. And I'm gonna use my mirror here. Hi, Raylene, thanks for popping in. And so same thing, I'm gonna think of it as like barely to the center of my pupil and draw on my lash line. Perfect. So this just creates liner, which will help pop open my eye without being so harsh as to use black, because I know in my like younger years it was like black, and I'm like, we're not doing that anymore. It's like it's not the thing. Not for, well, you know, there's no rules. You can use black if you want. I'm contradicting myself, but I've moved away from black in preference of purple generally. I guess it depends what you're doing. So now I'm going to go back to the small end of my brush and I'm gonna pop it in pomegranate. So that red again. And then the brick color, I'm gonna dust that underneath and then almost as if to pull it up and marry it to this upper V. Just like I did, it's easier for me to show you on this side. And then it just kind of blends up so there's a bit of color outside of my eye. And after I clean up on that side with the brush, I tend to go in and just like soften the edge ever so slightly. And then I'm gonna pop into Blondie. So the trick with these sparkly ones is to not use a brush. I'll show you why. So I'm gonna pop in, this is like the domed end of the smudge brush, and I'm gonna place my Blondie so it doesn't go on as great as if you use your finger, because it's just something else to pile up in there. So if you press your finger into your more sparkly ones, see, there we go, and then just press them on. Plus, isn't that easy? No need for an extra brush. It's just poof, there's your gold. And then I'll leave my mascara for last. But because we've cleaned this up, one more little pro trick for you. I'm almost done. Thanks for sticking with me. I'm kind of rambling a little bit. So I'm going to, if I were to do my under eye, I would probably use either my Candlelit or my White Peach. And so you could place that in there to blend. And then I'm gonna pop into linen. Now, do any of you have a pop highlight? I'm not sure if any of you have a pop highlight. So basically, think of like your main highlight and your brightener highlight. Your pop highlight is in that same family, only it's one shade lighter. So it is amazing for adding extra pop, which is exactly why we call it that, of bright and light. So this is something that you can really use to pop open your eye. You can place this on the inner part of your eye, but with shadows to draw everything in, I like to take my pop highlight and kind of take it from the outside of my eye and lift it up in the same direction as where I would put my illuminator, my cheek color, my contour. 3D brush because it's a little bit more precise. And then I'm just gonna pull it up in that same line. There. Oh, ooh, me likey. Loving the pop highlight. And then you need to comb your eyebrows back to where they came from. And then illuminator of choice. And then probably you're gonna need to pop in and do your makeup, your foundation from there. So I'm going to see if I can not lose an eyeball doing the finger for the shimmers. Yeah, it's the ticket. They just don't place as well. And then I don't have a glitter yet, but I did recently read that the lip conditioner works really amazing for getting the glitter to stick, because I guess the glitters are a little bit crazy. Would you use the pop and the illuminator? I totally would, because I kind of like that sparkle. Illuminator adds shimmer, whereas the pop color adds brightness. There's no shimmer to it. So it depends what you're going for and what your preference is. But I always use both. Why not? I've got them in my palette. Right? Is that a good enough reason? Probably. So curl your eyelashes. Try not to like lose an eyeball. Favorite dirt cheap CoverGirl mascara. And then lastly, I just want to talk to you about eye irritation. So a lot of people tell me that they don't like wearing eyeshadows because they bugs their eyes. So the first thing I say to that is your eyeshadow cheap? And I don't mean to be mean on that, but my feet are dying already. I don't mean to be mean, but think of quality, and of like a $6 eyeshadow and like a $30 eyeshadow aren't in the same category. Generally, something lower quality is going to have more ingredients or possibly more chemicals in them. Alcohols, things that do irritate your eyes. Your eyes are sensitive. I really love these Saint eyeshadows because they are quite affordable considering the quality of them. Like they're $17 each, but most Smashbox shadows, which I used to love, of course you're buying them from a retail store, so that there's the extra cost of a storefront and like employees and things like that. So they're usually at least $30, if not $40 a shadow. So our $17 shadows tend to be twice the amount of pigment as a lot of the competitors. So that's something to consider. There's a lot less chemicals in them, or just ingredients. So the quality of your shadow will affect irritating your eyes. The age of your shadow. Are these 10 years old? You should maybe toss them and upgrade. And then mascara, often if you get like eye irritation, you look at your mascara. We know we're supposed to throw that out every 6 months. So that's a big one, is how old is your mascara? Because that could really be, older mascaras tend to flake, so they end up in your eyeballs, and then that bugs everything. You know, you start scratching and everything is gone. But the biggest culprit is usually dirty brushes. someone close to me was getting styes, and washing her brushes was actually, she threw everything out and she was still getting it. Washing her brushes was the ticket. And I will say, yeah, bacteria lives in brushes. So if you are irritated by eyeshadows, look at those things. I don't know. Let me know. What do you think? Do you have questions for me? You're on there still. I see you. What do you think? How did I do? Makeup in the phone. They look pretty matchy. So another little trick, if I have like something slightly off, and again, it's usually this eye. This eye takes me twice as long as this one. Ooh, floating hearts. How fun. So I might just like pop in a little bit more and lift this one up to the arch. So if you think we want it to be like up in the same direction, think nose through your pupil to your eyebrow. So generally, if you've got hooded eyes, just see if you can get that color up. Ooh, windshield washer. Thanks. Loving these colors. I got a little wild on that one. You get the point. Not normally doing my, like normally it'd be like the 20 times mirror, right? This is what we're doing our makeup in. Not quite. You like the gold? Yes, me too. I'm like half raven, I think. I'm like, ooh, something shiny. Okay, well, I was hoping to get 15 of you on here, and then I was thinking I would do an eyeshadow giveaway. But there's only 13 of you on here. But I'm feeling in a giving mood. So hopefully, make sure if you're on here, you've put at least one comment so that I know you're on here. And then I'm gonna go through and I am going to let you know which one of you gets a free eyeshadow. Yay. Okay. Yay, I'm glad you learned a lot, Haley. All right. Bye, ladies. Thank you so much for popping in and saying hi. And again, if you are catching this replay later, just let me know that you watched it. Okay. Have great nights. Have excellent lives. Woohoo. Whoop, whoop. Yeah, yeah, yeah.